All right, thank you all so much for joining me this morning for another InvArch Weekly Community Call. It's the last day of September, so we have a lot to talk about closing out this month. But before we get into that, everybody knows how I like to start these things. I like to just kind of recap the week, some exciting things that happened in my personal life and work, and then also give the audience the opportunity to do the same. So, with that being said, some exciting things that happened this week was, for one, I found out that my well, I guess it's not really an exciting thing, but my mom's having some health issues, and they weren't as extreme as we had been thinking that they were, so that's good news. I guess the only flip coin to that is like now she's gonna have to go to a neurologist because they're not sure exactly what is the issue, but it's not as bad as what we were originally thinking. So thank goodness for that. Um, on top of that, in work related stuff, just we finally got a couple like Udall DAO things out. We had an exciting week regarding the rainbow stuff. Get Arch. There's just a lot of things to talk about. But with that being said, guys, that's how my week went. It was pretty simple week this week, and apart from the internet problems that were frustrating, but we're getting that fixed. And then tomorrow I have a wedding to go to, so very busy week. But with that being said, I will let somebody else, if anybody else wants to, take the mic really quick, let the community know how your week was, something you did this week in Dasama that made you super excited, happy, and then we can get on into the topics, guys.
I can give a little week update.
That would be outstanding, Jake. Thank you.
Uh, Super short, but I think it was on Monday. I finished the sub squid for our for GitArch. I was working on that for about 2 weeks, and then I switched back over to working on the IP staking palette again. So progress on that will resume, or is resume has already resumed, and I'm going to be working on that today. So that's pretty much it for me.
Perfect, Jake. And then, really quickly, before we kind of dive on into the next topic, since we have you on here, you're one of our devs. I feel like you would be a perfect person to ask this question to. Last week, we had a question from a member of the audience. They wanted to know, in the simplest way you can explain it, because I know like there's the video available, but if you could provide an explanation of what they're seeing in process when you are minting a repository on GitArch, could you give like I guess the simplest explanation for non-dev minded individuals to get the full scope of what's happening there and those, that quick 9-second video that we seen.
Sure. So I think our main design goal for GitArch is for it to be as similar as possible in many ways to like the existing GitHub experience that people are used to. And of course, GitHub is just like a cloud service that uses the actual Git protocol, which isn't really owned by anyone, I think. Um, and so GitArch is like this, decentralized Web3 protocol that's using Git, just like GitHub uses Git. But GitArch is decentralized, whereas GitHub is centralized and owned by Microsoft. But with GitHub, you could go to the website, you can create a repository and everything just with the clicks of a button, without typing any code really. And then if you want to do some stuff locally, maybe they'll give you some code like that you can just copy and paste into your terminal. So for us, for GitArch, it's going to be very similar, where there's a nice web page for you to fill out all the pieces of information. And that's going to actually go make the correct calls to the chain to create your repository. Right now, the only way to do that would be to go through the Polkadot.js extrinsics page, which is not super easy to do and it's just not an enjoyable experience. But with GitArch, with the web page, it'll be pretty seamless to create it. And then to clone that repository down to your local machine, I believe we're going to auto generate the code that you need to put into that you need to copy and
Oh, I think my internet's having a little hiccup as we speak. Apologize for this, everyone. Okay, hello? Can everyone hear me? Hello? Hello?
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry
now I
about
can
that.
hear you again.
Sorry about that, guys. It appears like my entire uh, Wi-Fi just cut out there for a split second. Um, but with that being said,
Well, I finished my answer. I don't know how much you heard of that, but
I got to the point where you were talking about how when you actually go like on GitHub and then it kind of cut out right there. If you don't mind just finishing that for the sake of the recording, my apologies, Jake.
no worries. Yeah, so the goal is that it's going to be as identical to the current existing GitHub experience as possible, where you can do most of the work from like a web interface that's very easy to use. And then with uh, if you want to if you want to pull the code down to your local computer, referred to as cloning, then we'll, just like on GitHub, we'll auto generate the code that you can just hit a button to copy and then paste it in your terminal, and it'll pull it down to your local computer. So it should be pretty straightforward and practically almost identical, or literally identical to
Okay,
the GitHub experience.
that's perfect.
Yep.
Thank you so much for that answer. I really
No
appreciate it.
problem.
Sorry once again, guys, for everybody. My internet was kind of acting finicky, and it continues to do so. If I disconnect again, just so everyone is aware, what I'll do is I'll keep this recording going, and I'll keep answering questions. That way, this is all captured. But I'll have a more stable connection because I'll disconnect from my internet on my phone and just use like a cellular service to stay connected and communicate with you guys. Um, but moving on into the next subject, once again, thank you so much, Jake, for that answer, giving it twice because my internet decided to take a nap in the middle of it. Um, with that being said, appreciate your all's patience. Moving on though, so for those of you who are not familiar, the GitArch private beta registration winners are going to be announced today. Very, very exciting. So there's actually 10 teams that were selected for this. We've had over 100 applications submitted, so that was really, really cool to see. It's going to be over a 4 week duration that it'll be taking place. These teams will be participating in this private beta, and there's going to be 50,000 Tinker in rewards to be given out. There's also going to be commemorative NFTs, and the teams that were selected for this that are going to be announced today can expect this to launch next month in October. So this is pretty significant. For those of you who don't know, the private beta registration is going to be like the first real, us letting other teams actually get inside GitArch and play around with our features. So I'm really looking forward to seeing these teams get in there. We have some high-end names. We have some high-end teams. Everything will be announced shortly. You guys can expect those to come out today. So I'm sure you all will be excited once this is all released. With that being said as well, we had some alpha drop this week from GitArch. I would like to share that with you guys, so I'm going to drop it in the channel for those of you guys who might not have seen it or had the opportunity, like missed the tweet when it came out. So what you're seeing here, just as it says, imagine the power of Git and the power of on-chain governance fused to provide a single seamless experience for devs. Rather than imagine, catch a glimpse at some alpha to see what you could look like on GitArch. Unstoppable code, truly decentralized soon. So if you take a look at the screenshot here, there's like an actual vote that's happening there. That's what vote proposals will look like. It's very significant because if you guys aren't familiar with how we're going to be like improving multi-chain, not multi-chain, multi-signature things like this as well, this will tie into GitArch. So it's very significant that that is going to be a feature. We wanted to kind of show that off as well. Um, and then also this week regarding GitArch, um, I uh, one moment, guys. Sorry, my internet connection is terrible. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, it's showing that I'm like disconnected on my end over here right now. So I just wanted to make sure. So, all right. Sorry, guys. This is loading. Using GitArch, if you guys missed it this week, there was a Polkadot Fellowship manifesto released by Gavin Wood. Um, and using GitArch, it would be possible to run the Polkadot Fellowship entirely on chain, and it would be built on top of InvArch. Multi-body governance with reputation tracking, tiered voting models, and it would all be possible on GitArch. This is pretty significant. Hopefully, that could actually happen. That would be freaking crazy, to say the least. But this is all possible on GitArch. Just to get it out there for you guys, GitArch truly is pushing the boundaries of unstoppable code. And so I hope, especially for our devs listening, that you guys are excited to be able to use this, and excited to see it in action. These private beta registration, these winners when they're announced, whenever this takes place in October, I'm sure you guys can expect to see some pretty sweet things coming from GitArch during that time as well from these teams. We're very excited to get this started and kickstart this process. With that being said, guys, that's really all I have for GitArch to share with you guys this week. And I would kind of like to move on into my next little segment. So once again, on these, I also like to always highlight for the InvArch Ambassador program that we are always recruiting. So if you guys haven't ever applied, but you've considered it, maybe you're a new member of the community and you want to get involved, I would love for you all to submit an application. If you go to our website, I'll actually just pull it up myself really quickly and I'll just drop the link to it. But while I'm discussing it, if you go to our website and you go to our community page, and you scroll near the bottom, there's actually 2 applications available. So there's one that shows like an Army helmet, that's the Army application form, and there's one that shows a brain, and that's the Core application form. For those of you who have never been a part of an ambassador program, or you've never been part of the InvArch Ambassador program specifically as well, I will say the easiest way to get involved, the quickest way to get involved is to become a member of the Army. If you support InvArch and you want to get rewarded for spreading the word of our accomplishments, then this is an easy and awesome opportunity. It's the easiest way to get involved and kind of earn your stake in the network. Right now, if you guys have been paying attention, InvArch and Tinkernet, GitArch, I mean, we have a lot of things going on. We're on fire right now. We've been shipping like crazy, and we don't plan on slowing down anytime soon. We're extremely passionate about what we're doing, and we hope that you are too. With that being said, I don't believe there's ever been a better time for anyone to get involved as an ambassador. We just implemented more changes last week as well. So we now have reinstituted core author roles, as well as added in a newscaster role, and then we had the designer role as well reinstituted. So for those of you who aren't familiar, these roles will be able to earn Varch allocations the same as other ambassadors, but for the tasks that they're doing, specifically in these core functions, they earn a greater sum. Now, for those of you who might be interested in this, or say you've applied to a core position in the past, but you're interested in one of these new ones that are available, you can resubmit a core application. That's totally fine. That's an option that you have. But I would keep in mind, these core positions are a little bit, I wouldn't even just say a little bit, they're a lot more difficult to secure. Reason being is because there's a lot of individuals who want to secure them, so there's a lot of individuals applying, and we have a very, very limited number of seats to fill those individuals, like spots in, compared to the Army, where we can have hundreds of individuals right now. And there's nothing wrong as well with submitting an application to both. Like, say you want to get in as soon as possible, you'd love to be in a core position, but you're okay with also being an Army member just to go ahead and get in, start earning a stake in the network, and start participating. You can totally do so. That's totally fine. But regardless, for those of you guys who haven't ever participated, haven't ever applied, I would love for you all to go ahead, submit an application. Um, for those of you guys, once again, uh, as well, the way that the applications go is if you're accepted, I will reach out to you via DM directly. We have had individuals in the past, for whatever reason, trying to fake being me and sending people invites to that. Nobody else can send out an invite to the embassy. Some individuals have shared their links in the past, but I will also go ahead and say that that's a waste of time. As soon as you join the embassy, the only way that you are actually 100% verified and approved to get started is you have to go through the actual verification process, and then I will manually assign you a role that grants you the permissions to see all the channels. And I only do that once I've verified that you are one of the approved ambassadors that I've submitted an invitation to. So really, the security there is locked down pretty tight, and it's for that reason. We only want individuals being able to start earning rewards and participating who've been invited. So once again, the last thing to keep in mind with the ambassador program is we do not just blatantly reject people. So if you all aren't familiar, we have term limits that take place. So basically, as term limits go, is you can stay in the Army for 2 terms, and then there's a separate 2 terms for core individuals. And a term is 2 full rounds. So basically, we go a round as a month, and usually we're resetting on the 22nd. So we just went through a recent reset. And as it stands, the term limits are great because it keeps a fresh, vibrant amount of individuals coming in and out of the program, and it constantly keeps us flourishing with new ideas, new individuals. And the other thing too is once you actually retire out of the program, it's not like you're just not recognized at all. You get assigned the veteran ambassador role as long as you're not removed early for inactivity or bad behavior in the rare circumstances that that's occurred. Then you get the veteran ambassador role, and you get access to the veteran community lounge in the community server on the InvArch Discord. So for those of you guys who would love to participate, please, I would love to see your applications. Please go ahead and submit them. With that being said, does anybody have any questions regarding the ambassador program, these new core roles, anything like that? Speak now, or if you think of one later, you are always welcome to DM me. My DMs are always open for you guys. Okay. No questions regarding the new updates with that. So with that being said, guys, I would kind of go ahead and like to highlight more updates with Basilisk and the LBP event. So for those of you guys who missed yesterday, I'm sorry, it was awesome. We had a lot of important stuff to talk about with the first episode of Tinker Talks, and I highly encourage any of you guys who missed that to go back and watch it. I just dropped a link in the open chat section. So once again, I highly anticipate everyone should go back and watch that. There's a lot of good information provided in that for everybody regarding the LBP event, and what you guys can expect getting started with that. For those of you guys who don't know, who haven't been to one of these weekly community calls and haven't been keeping up with the updates, this is very, very historic. There's not been a LBP take place in the Kusama ecosystem, so it's extremely significant. For those of you guys who don't know as well, I will kind of go over just a quick, brief description of what these teams, what Basilisk is as well, and what you guys can expect from this. For those of you guys who missed the call yesterday as well. In the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystems, the HydraDX team has made LBP one of the core functions of their Basilisk parachain. Thanks to their tech, any project that wants to determine the value of its token can go through this process to establish a fair and reasonable price. We are very excited to announce that the very first project to hold a liquidity bootstrapping pool in the Kusama ecosystem will be the TinkerNet parachain, and Basilisk will be the first project to provide the infrastructure and host an LBP campaign. We're really, really excited. So once again, we haven't actually announced an official launch date. It'll probably be early, maybe it's going to be this month. But as far as an official date, you guys can expect more news coming out very soon regarding that. We know that you guys are ready for it. Both teams are excited to launch this. HydraDX, for those of you guys who aren't familiar with them at all, is a cross-chain liquidity protocol built on Substrate, and its mission is to enable frictionless liquidity for all crypto assets by building the first of its kind multi-asset liquidity pool, the HydraDX Omnipool. With the Omnipool, HydraDX breaks with the traditional conception according to which assets are traded in pairs using isolated pools. Basilisk is not a mere canary network of HydraDX. It is an independent chain that has the mission to enable frictionless liquidity bootstrapping for new crypto assets. Basilisk is a natural stepping stone on the journey towards building the liquidity infrastructure of the future. Together, Basilisk and HydraDX create a synergy that caters to the varying needs of crypto assets throughout their entire life cycle. Together, Basilisk and HydraDX create a synergy that caters to the varying needs of crypto assets throughout their entire life cycle. Oh, sorry, I forgot that thing's always repeated. And bootstrap liquidity in the early stages using Basilisk. Then move over to the HydraDX Omnipool to unlock unprecedented liquidity in an ocean of assets. In the simplest explanation for ourselves, InvArch is a leading-edge Layer 1 blockchain built to support and empower the future creator economy by providing a new foundation through its powerful NFT primitives and DAO solutions. The InvArch network features the most advanced primitives and DAO solutions produced in the Polkadot ecosystem and is a major project pushing the limits of Web3 further than ever possible in other ecosystems. InvArch is designed not just to allow new products of development to take flight, but also to change how individuals and teams can develop them together. InvArch is, of course, built on the Substrate blockchain framework and designed to launch on the Polkadot ecosystem as a parachain. The Tinkernet parachain is the canary network of the InvArch network. Designed as the IP asset and accelerated development staging grounds for the Kusama ecosystem, the Tinkernet serves a trio of testing purposes: one for the developers who maintain the network, one for the developers who build on top of the network, and one for the end users of dApps and applications in the ecosystem. Sorry, excuse me, guys, I need a drink. So with that being said, once again, please go back, watch the update with Tinker Talks. There's a lot of excitement building up for this LBP event. It's going to be very historic, very rewarding for those who participate in it. There's been some private talks behind doors about how rewarding this is going to be for our community, and I can say that we're very confident that our community is going to be very pleased with the rewards from the LBP event. So once again, I hope if you're still listening at this point, you've been keeping up with community calls, going back and keeping up with our updates, that you consider yourself a member of the community and you will consider yourself excited to participate in this as well. Moving on from the LBP event itself, I would like to talk about UDL DAO. So UDL DAO, if you guys didn't know, also this week, it surpassed the 9th collection. I can't remember off the top of my head which one that was, but it became the 8th top collection on Remark of all time. So that's pretty significant. We're pretty astounded by that, especially with the turnaround time of like just launching the tickets, and just how quickly we've grown and the community sentiment behind UDL DAO. It's been incredible to watch, just how excited everyone is as well for the DAO CDK to launch. And launch on UDL DAO and see that displayed, the functionality of it the first time in the first place being UDL DAO. I think that's what really attracted most individuals, is just because they realized like this is going to be one of the first true DAOs as well. There only ever will be 1001 UDLs ever created, so it's going to be very limited. For those of you who are on the fence or you haven't been sure you want to participate, it's actually almost similar to an LBP. As the price will drop, you guys have to decide when you're wanting to buy in. And I can tell you there are individuals who are wanting to buy as many tickets as they can. So if you guys are wanting to be part of this and not wanting to have to wait for, a different way to be able to earn a ticket, or to be able to have to buy one off the secondary market for a different price, there are some listed now available. I believe the lowest I'd seen yesterday was 4.19 KSM for a ticket right now on the secondary market. But once again, I really do think these are going to be a scarcity in the near future. I don't think they're going to be easily available, and I don't think everyone's going to want to be giving away their UDLs. As well as for those of you guys who aren't familiar, we literally did the rainbow tickets this week, And so there was 50 rainbow tickets sold on the market for 10K a sim a piece. And from literally the moment they were listed, they were selling. It was pretty crazy to watch because we did 25 in one setting, and then we went and did 25 a few hours later, just for the sake of time zones and fairness for everyone. And I mean, literally both times it was the moment one was listed. I was trying to buy one myself, and my internet was just so poor this week. I missed out, unfortunately. I couldn't keep up. And it was wild because I was literally watching them be listed. Pop up as listed. I go to hit buy, and it's like, hold on, someone else is already interacting with this NFT. And when that happened, 20, like, I think I actually got to maybe look at 17 because of my internet, but like that happened, I'm sure, for every single individual, because as I was sitting there trying to buy one, I mean, they were going as soon as they were listed. It was wild. Um, Once again, we'd like to just express our thank you for that. The support behind this has been incredible, and we couldn't thank our community and our DAO members enough for that. Um, One of the things that kind of was some Udl DAO alpha that dropped this week, for those of you guys who didn't see it or might have missed, I'll drop it in here for you all to be able to look at now. But basically, there was an attributes list posted, what you guys can expect. So while the website is deployed now, we wanted to shed some light for utils as well. So below is a different item classes, their variations, the quantity of each variation, and the attributes breakdown associated with them. So of course you have rainbow items being like the most sought after, the most rare, and then common ones obviously being the easiest one, the most common items. But what you guys can expect from that, please check it out. It's really cool. And once again, the Utils DAO temporary website is also available. Let me pull that up as well for you guys and be able to drop the link. For those of you guys who hadn't seen that, hadn't checked that out, it's pretty cool. It's sticking with the same theme that we've been keeping up with for Udl DAO. So highly recommend you guys check that out. It's a really neat little, it's a temporary website, but we'll be sure to keep you guys updated when the official website for Udl DAO goes live. Okay. Sorry guys, I was just making sure that my internet was good. It started to do the thing right before it cuts out. So the attributes breakdown as was shared with this week, and then the other thing that was talked about last week, actually, that I did not mention, was that there is the Udl DAO constitution that you guys can expect to be proposed. As to how soon, I can't give an exact date, but I can tell you that the Udl DAO constitution is being drafted. So you guys can expect that as well in the near future, hopefully. I would love to be able to talk more about that with you guys, but that's a little bit more private. So with that being said, does anybody have any questions regarding Udl DAO at all? No questions regarding Udl DAO? Okay. I'm just going to drop the official roadmap once more in the chat for everyone. With that being said, though, guys, that's really the last update I have to provide for Udl DAO as well. But I would actually kind of like to circle back a little bit. Jake, if you don't mind, since you're one of our devs, I would kind of like to ask you, with the GitArch private beta, like getting ready to go off in October, what are some things that we can expect these teams to be doing in the private beta? Can you share that with our audience? Some things that they can look forward to. What are these teams going to be attempting to do?
I don't want to put too much out there, but I think it's just gonna be, regular GitHub type of stuff. I'm not 100% sure how many features we're gonna have during the beta. We're not gonna have every single feature that GitHub has. They've been working on it for forever.
Right.
But I think our goal is to have like the primary core feature set that you would need to basically do software development for it or through it. And at the very least, it's just another decentralized you have like a backup copy almost. Like if Microsoft decided that they wanted to axe your code one day, which they could, or the US government could put you on some list and then Microsoft would comply and they would axe you just like we saw with Tornado Cash, then hey, now your code is also, you also had it over here on GitArch and they can't touch that. So that's like the very least, but it'll be more than that.
Right. Yeah, I know when we talk about it and the possibilities that will be able to be built thanks to GitArch, InvArch, all of it. It's truly mind-boggling, and sometimes it's hard to just wrap your mind around it just because there's truly like an endless amount of possibilities. Um, but what is I guess looking down the future, I know like it's very broad and expansive. Just being a developer yourself, what is one thing that you would love to see built on GitArch in the future? I know that that's a little bit of a stretch down the road, but I love asking devs this question, like, what would you build if you knew that it was 100% protected and it was going to be safe? No one could ever, like, as you just were talking about, axe your code. What is one thing that you would love to see made and then, essentially protected for the rest of time on GitArch?
Oh, that's a really tough question. I'm really not sure. I've never been the ideas person, the person with all sorts of crazy ideas. But if I was developing any sort of privacy protocol, obscuring token transfers, any sort of thing like that, then I would be more interested in this than everyone else probably, because as like we've seen with the Tornado Cash thing already, that's like those the ones where the privacy, where the government can't see what's going on, and law enforcement can't see what's going on. That fantastic, maybe fantastic for 99% of the world, but the government and law enforcement is going to focus on that 1%. And if I was developing a privacy protocol, I see myself as serving, providing a good and a service for many people around the world. And I wouldn't want to be, uh, prosecuted for that. I just wrote code. I didn't actually use it to go do something bad.
Right.
Um, so being able to have my code safe away from those people, and also at some point here in the future, being able to contribute to that anonymously, that's very cool.
Hey everyone, this is Dakota. Thank you, Jake.
Mhm.
So this is Dakota hopping on Casey's accounts. Well, kind of. Yeah, for those who don't know, this is obviously like a really eventful, really awesome, really busy time. So we're working close as I'm literally at his house right now. I'm sitting in his chair, hopped on. If you guys could, if there was video, you'd see me right now. But I just wanted to hop on quick. I was a bit busy. I usually am busy during this time, which is why I'm not able to hop on the call. But I really wanted to make sure that I hopped on today just to, first and foremost, before I get into anything, it's just I want to thank everyone. The amount of support that we have seen, like just the growth in it over the past several weeks has been phenomenal. Absolutely amazing. And especially for those, I know there's many here, but like for example, I know there's like Julissa, who has been an ambassador of ours, a supporter of ours since essentially day one, which has been a year now. And I can only imagine what it's like, but I just am eternally grateful for individuals such as herself and such as everyone else, like that has been supporting us since the very beginning and seeing the growth, seeing us go from day one to where we are now. It means the world, and with all of that, we obviously have a lot of things getting ready to roll out. Talking about GitArch earlier, everything going on with Udl DAO and what will be the Daoist CDK, which we're very, very excited for. And then just plus later today, announcing our partners with GitArch. So everyone's going to be participating in our private beta. There's some really awesome, really, really awesome teams that have asked to join that will be participating. So we're excited for all of that. A big thing here, though, is when I hopped on the call is just obviously like spreading awareness of the LBP. We have an independent. There's like some independent analysis that's being done, and someone who from the greater .sama community, who derives from Cast Out, is writing like a review, a breakdown article regarding Tinkernet tokenomics. I guess you could say the lucrativeness behind it all. But we're very excited for that. But the main reason why, I will say this, I don't want to say any numbers yet. I don't want to I don't want to give like anything specific, but I will say this. I am just extremely happy and very optimistic for the end results here. And by that, I'm looking at a big picture. I have a feeling that by the end of this event, there will be tremendous buzz around the project. I'm inclined, I've very good information, reason to believe that the Tinkernet crowd loan will come out to be absolutely among the most rewarding crowd loans in the ecosystem's entire history. Whether it is the most rewarding, or whether it is, how close it is to being first, that may be the question there. But will it be rewarding? Yes. So I'm very, very excited for that. I'm very excited for everyone who, again, helped to bring us to the moment that we're at now. But just remember that even after that, it'll be really exciting and really awesome. But then from that point on, it's like really go time. We're going to be sharing a lot of the awesome stuff that we've been building, and obviously rolling out those products. And it's really awesome to see people use them. But we're also going to be focusing on bringing even more builders into the space, because just some of the things that you see us building, like, they're really awesome and they're really powerful. But the reality is they're just two things. There are a near infinite amount, honestly, of amazing new dApps or just dApps that currently exist that could exist in just so much better, powerful, more seamless ways. So we'll be focusing on encouraging individuals to build on top of on InvArch, on Tinkernets. But yeah, I just wanted to chime in just to kind of recap on all of that we have going on, just to share, like, again, my excitement. I guess I'm really, really excited for this, and the main reason I'm excited, like, it really is for the community, especially with when it comes to Tinkernet, just for everyone, just so you know. We actually never ended up allocating any funds towards any VCs, so it's completely community owned, and even out of the team allocation, it's a very small margin. It's 8%, and we don't even have it yet. It's locked up for a whole year. So with all this, no, it's just for the community. I'm really excited. We geared the tokenomics towards, like, the main goal here is we wanted to have an effect where people are happy. They're really happy. And hopefully, they're happy and they go online, they tell their friends, But the main goal here is just to make sure that people are, they're taken care of, that they receive, like, decent rewards, and that everything goes well. So with all that, like I said, we're really excited. Nothing's set in stone until everything, actually takes place and finishes. So all of this excitement, I will admit, it's all speculative. But I'm thrilled. I'm really excited, and I'm really thankful, like I've been saying, for everyone here. The team has been doing an amazing job. Casey's been killing it. AJ's been doing a fantastic job. Our builders they've been on fire. And from Pedro to Jake himself, and of course Gabe has been killing it. So a huge shout out to everyone on the team. Just really, really thankful. And just, wanted to thank you all too, the community, because this has been an amazing ride. And really what's happening is we're just kind of getting things in place, and the ship hasn't even started to take off yet. So just knowing how much excitement there is now, I can't wait for the future. But just want to share those words, and I'll pass it back off to Casey so he can wrap things up. But thank you for everyone who tuned in for this community call. I really, really appreciate that.
Thank you, Dakota. Thank you so much. Well, you guys heard it directly from the boss man himself. Lots of exciting things to look forward to. And, as he just said, the ship hasn't even sailed yet. We're just gearing up the excitement for it. With that being said, guys, we usually like to try to keep these under an hour, in between the 45 to an hour minute mark. So I don't know of a better way to wrap up than with, Dakota himself earing it up for talking about all the exciting things that we have coming up, the LBP event, the private beta. We have a lot going on, as he was just talking about. Our builders are killing it. The team is excited, and we're just ready to provide the community what they've been waiting for, which is an exciting event. So from that being said, guys, from me, sorry, I keep having internet connection issues. So thank you all so much for bearing through that with me today. I'm going to be getting that fixed tomorrow. So next weekly community call shouldn't have any connection issues. But thank you all so much for joining in, taking the time out of your day to start your weekend with me. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend and are looking forward to another week of a lot of exciting updates and a lot of news regarding the LBP event, the GitArch private beta, and more to come. All right, guys, thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will catch you next week.